Kilo Group A. There were originally 36 competitors in this group. By the end of the VFE, final verification of entries, we were down to 30. But as you can see, there was almost no room on that stage for the 11 who are here in this A group. JP Nicoletta with Sean Waxman and Dr. David Boffa for the last time. And guys, we have waited all week for this. We don't want it to end, but this will be a spectacle. Of this group of 11, we have it all. And we're taking a look here at our group in the back as they get ready. Walid Bidani of Algeria.
One of several Olympians in this category. He is a two-time Olympian.
He was 8th last year at the World Championships in Anaheim. And there he is, Lasha TALAKHADZE. And there are a few lifters in the world that when you notice them, you can identify them by one name, and it means everything. All you need to say is Lasha, and right now he is it. This is a competitor who's not just competing against this field, but really at this point against his own legend. Can he be the greatest lifter of all time? We will find out along the way. And here is his teammate.
Irakli Terenidze, bronze in 2016 in the super heavies.
Athletes are called to the platform based on the weights that they select. And as you see here, we're about to get started with 185 kilos for Ali Dawoodi of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Sounds like he just took 180 kilos in the back room as a warm-up, one of several warm-ups, no doubt.
He is a 2018 Junior World Champion at plus 105. He snatched 192 kilos in July at the Junior Worlds. Here he is opening with 185.
I can't believe he's 19 years old.
Gets on the board with ease, and give you a sense of the competition. You can see our tower on the left-hand side showing the lifter highlighted in green is the active athlete. There's that opening attempt. You can see how enormous these athletes are. He is collar to collar on that bar.
There's almost not enough room for him
to go wider. Yeah. Speaking of enormous, the small mountain you see migrating on stage right now is none other than Estonia's Mart Sain.
And one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
And one of the strongest. Here he is opening with 185 kilos.
Still kind of figured the snatch out with 185, but as Boffa said, the clean and jerk is something to see from him.
Yeah.
Much better than we've seen him lift.
Yeah, he's moving pretty well. You know, I know he's been struggling a little bit with
a back injury.
Issues. Yeah.
So it looks he's a little ginger walking off that stage.
Well, you would be too if you just had 185 kilos overhead, Sean.
Yes, well, I agree.
Well, the thing with SEIM is that if he can get into the 190 plus range, he's dangerous as far as the clean and jerk competition goes.
Yeah.
He can make up ground.
Yes.
And he's got to stay within, I don't know if he can stay within punching distance of Lasha, but you figure if he's in within 10 kilos or so of the rest of the field and opening with 187.
Sister was kind enough to join some of us for coffee this morning, and she thinks he's going to go well into the 190s in the snatch.
He's suffering with some callus tears on that left hand, so hopefully that doesn't affect it.
You know, it looks like it might have, Sean.
Yeah.
This bar has been
He went right to it and he tore it right off. Go ahead, David.
This bar seems to have been pretty sharp all week. We've seen a number of callus tears, and I think that's what happened there. The bar has knurling, aids in the grip, which is very important. Second attempt, 187. No shortage of support from the crowd here.
So running a 2-minute clock there because Toychev is following himself. 187 stays on the bar. And I think this is the moment he can relieve the crowd of any anxiety and himself by putting this 187 kilos away.
well north of 400 pounds.
So what I think happened on that first one is as he pulled the bar off the floor, whatever tape he had on his hand slipped.
Yeah.
And that really can screw up your timing of the lift.
The snatch is a game of millimeter precision. Anything can throw you off.
You know,
I think you're right, Sean.
You saw the doctor work on his hand in the back, put a different type of tape on there, and obviously did a good job.
And in fact, it was thinner.
Yes.
Which you talk about your senses, it doesn't mess with them as much.
Right.
He's asking for, I thought I saw 195.
I don't know if that was that his card?
That
it
is.
was
195.
All right, well, these are the supers.
Yeah.
Standard jumps go out the window when you're talking about this with this group.
Yes, everything they do tends to be super.
So now from Belarus, Eduard Zizulin, first attempt, 189.
Beautiful lift.
Yeah.
One of two juniors in this group. We've seen both already, and both are on the board.
And that is a junior world record.
I told you they weren't going to last.
Didn't even realize. Just casually opens with a junior world record. And he's got 2 attempts left.
So does Davudi.
That's right, our other junior.
So every made attempt from either Zizulin or Davudi will be a new junior world record.
Well, that's starting it off the right way.
And now Walid Bidani of Algeria, 190 kilos.
He took 150 in between his first and second attempts to stay warm. It's often a good strategy. Looks like it paid off.
Yes.
Good lift there for Bidani.
Excuse me, not Widani. Mart SEIM is taking that, but Bidani gets on the board. Pretty casually.
Yes.
Which you'd expect nothing less from most of the Russians.
Yes.
ALBEGOV coming out, 191. Opening attempt.
He has quite a history.
And he's done around 200 in the snatch and around 250 in the clean and jerk. So.
Well, at the Olympics, he did 208 at a meet in Russia in 2012, 210.
And those are huge numbers.
2014 Worlds, 210.
Yeah, not a lot of supers even have done those weights.
Beautiful lift.
And because of movement like that.
Right.
Pretty classic Russian technique.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite technical lifters. Another lifter that I show people about when they ask about technique.
The platform's almost not big enough for him.
And he's a giant human being. I stood next to him, and I'm not like a cupcake, but he is giant.
All right, so now 192 kilos, Ali Davudi. 7-kilo jump. Yeah, how is that a 19-year-old human being?
I was just thinking the same thing again.
That bar has
not
about
big
a
enough.
mile to go when he drops it. He is an enormous athlete, and you're right, JP, that bar looks like he could use another half a foot on either side.
Jump back just slightly.
But
Gotta
then
watch
himself.
normal jump for a super from first to second. 7 kilos. Let's hope that back is not a problem moving forward.
Almost short.
I was going to say, you know, even on the first one, it looks like he's cutting his pull a little bit.
Especially on that left side a little bit. But he gets under it. I mean, he's strong enough to sort of force it into place. And hold it. I guess that's the benefit of squatting north of 350 kilos or so.
Now Fernando Reis from Brazil. First attempt, 193.
Possibly the strongest athlete in the Western Hemisphere.
Well, I don't think there's any question.
Last year snatched 200, which was good for 5th place. And even then, Sean, we were saying, can you believe?
Right, 200's 5th place.
He looks like he's in shape.
And last year he jumped to 200 on his second.
Now, I spoke with him a few times between the last Worlds and this Worlds, and his training has gone well. He's situated nicely in Miami, and it seems like the fruits of his labor are paying off.
So a good start there for Reis. And don't be shocked if 200 is where we see him.
No doubt.
And now Edward Zizulin of Belarus, second attempt, 193. Worth mentioning, junior world record, if successful. Right there.
Right there is right.
He's got one more chance.
Didn't look heavy.
And is he the only athlete on 93? He is.
Well, 94 would be... he could be if he go...
What is he gonna pull this, or is he gonna power it?
Should we bet?
Power
it.
140. Most humans don't do a bar like that, an empty bar. So taking one last warm-up before he comes out for his third attempt. And you see, that's the kind of thing that happens in a meet. How many attempts was he back there? 4 or 5?
Yeah.
And they expected or hoped to be next after Zizulin. But the lifter missed it. 2-minute clock, you get held up. You do another quick lift to stay warm.
Yeah.
And now, the junior from Belarus back on the bar for his third attempt, 193 kilos. This would reclaim the junior world record.
That's right. I bet he wishes he had that back on his second.
Yeah.
He looks pretty pleased right now, though.
Makes it look nice on that third attempt. But his competitor, Ali Davudi, another junior, also has another attempt.
That was nice.
And he has called for 196, so...
All right, so now here's Hoja Tochiev from Turkmenistan, 194 kilos, third attempt, and you can hear it, I'm sure.
Once again, the fans, if they could get out there and lift it for him, they would. Throwing lots of support behind this young athlete.
He's done 197 on this stage. Here he is with 194. No lift for Tochiev at 194. He'll be credited with 187 kilos from his second attempt.
Like he started the second pull a little bit early, got behind it. I wonder if that hand was maybe bothering him again.
If we hadn't mentioned it, Peter Neusch of Hungary snatched 187 in the B group earlier this morning, so that currently is the leader. Well, that was the leader. But Toychayev is behind him in 8th place now. As a result of that miss, 195 kilos is now loaded. Another plate added to the bar. For Rustam Jangabaev, Uzbekistan.
Whoa, man, he gets down there.
Yeah. Very mobile for a super.
Wow. Reminiscent of Ternenko, to go back into the 80s to find somebody with that kind of body.
Right? Just a few inches off the platform.
Wow.
All right, so now one of 2 entries from Georgia here in the men's plus 109. Here is the first attempt of Irakli Terminidze. 195 kilos.
His coach telling him to get his elbows up, which is great advice.
His coach is also an Olympic champion.
Terminidze was a bronze medalist himself.
Beautiful left.
And for all the talk of Lasha that we hear about Georgia, from Georgia, and with good reason, Terminidze is as good as it gets. I mean, in every way. I mean, just technically perfect.
Very nice.
All right, so now Mart, same 3rd attempt, 195. Pretty conservative jump, 3 kilos. But for SEIM, this will be a best ever.
Not bad for a bad back.
He tried this in Anaheim on his 3rd attempt.
We'll say this, he's got to finish a little bit more to get under this bar. Yeah, it just
Didn't have the height.
no,
Or the acceleration.
He didn't listen to me. If he listened to me, he would have made it. Well, I think that back is bugging him a little bit.
Yeah, he was tentative that whole way, it looked.
Now, oddly enough, you know, in the clean and jerk, it might not bother him as much because he's not as bent over in the start.
Yeah.
So a little bit more upright in the start because your hands are a little bit closer together.
For SEIM, he snatched 191 last year. Here he is. He goes into the clean and jerk with 192, and he ended out
5 or 10
in this group.
Yeah. So, I mean, these guys are weighing in the 160 range kilos, 160, 170 kilos. So 10 kilos is a drop in the bucket.
He snatched 195 kilos at the World Championships last year.
Nice. He moves. For a big guy, he is quick.
You know, it looks like the bar, it doesn't, but it looks like the bar kind of slows down into the hip, but it really doesn't. He slingshots himself on the bar.
Yeah, he really does.
Man.
You can see it here. Boom, just like that.
It's like the calm before the storm, and then it explodes. It's
And
great.
I think you lose all perspective of space and size looking at these guys one after the other, but I think he's one of the taller athletes. Now we're back to Ruslan ALBEGOV. Second attempt, 197 kilos.
Not heavy. Just got behind the bar, it looked like. Can't do that.
Yeah, that's going to cost him.
It might.
I don't know if he's hurt or if he's just kind of how he walks.
ALBEGOV?
Yeah. He's kind of shuffling.
All right, so now Ali Davoudi Islamic Republic of Iran, third attempt, 197 kilos.
And a new junior world record in the snatch. Just has the optical illusion of kind of slowing down.
It looks like it slows in the hip.
Down into a hole. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
And he's pointing to the board as it lights up with junior world record. Well earned in a terrific series.
Well earned, exactly right. This fantastic. He is going to be a superstar when he starts shaving.
Our youngest competitor in this field, Devuti, and 3 for 3.
Now being followed by our oldest, if you can believe it.
No, the other Georgian.
Terminitse?
Yeah.
No, born in 84, 88. Yes, you're right. Sorry.
Steady and get his feet in a line, and he does. And ALBEGOV makes the correction.
A little shuffle here. Look at that.
There is a little. He's almost
just how he walks.
Gingerly walk.
Love the way he gets under the bar.
Yeah, nice classic technique. Gets the knees out of the way of the bar.
Guys this size can walk however they want, however fast, however slow.
It's true. Good lift by Fernando.
And you know,
keeps him in it.
That one was almost out of line.
Yes.
But I think because he is in the kind of shape that he's in, he stopped that cold.
Yeah,
I agree. Maybe a little bit back.
Yeah, it almost got away, but he was just so secure when he punched out. The little balance shift
didn't affect him.
Never in doubt. So a great lift there. He is 2 for 2. And now Rustam Jangabaev looking for 1 kilo more. Here he is with 199 kilos. Second attempt.
Like it was, he kind of pushed it away with his hips.
So it looped around,
yeah,
you think?
I think so.
It actually moved pretty nicely off the floor, too.
Where do you see it there? You think the first movement was a bit away?
Yeah, I think.
Running back and forth. It's near the marshal's table where the changes go in, but not exactly next to it. And occasionally you'll get a little bit of a race. The stampede at times as guys are getting over there to try to get changes in.
Right now, Gor, MINASYAN of Armenia, could be a threat to Lasha.
And he lifts with a crazy wide start position.
Yeah. You know, he did that in Rio. I want to say his first and second basically looked like power snatches in that crazy wide position.
The hip hinge or like the angle of it, where he stands is weird.
Yeah, it doesn't, and then he has to go out from there. So it's just it's an odd technique. Look how high, close the bars to his head.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a really wide grip, wide stance.
So now we're back to Terminitse, 200 kilos, second attempt, 5 kilo increment off his opener.
There is Georgi Asenidze, 2004 Olympic champion, shouting at him.
Good save.
Yeah, and you know, he is the oldest competitor in this field. He's 34 per IWF rules this year, born in '84, and that's someone snatching 200 kilos. Supers can mature a little later because of the growth, but still, in the sport of weightlifting, that's getting up there.
But Badani will lift first because he opened the lightest. All three are on their third attempt. He opened with 190, then went to 97, whereas Fernando Hayes' example went 93, then 98. So he has waited the longest, which means he is first in the calling order with this weight. So 201 kilos, third attempt, Walid Badani, Algeria.
He's never got the bar back. Just kind of stayed out in front, never moved back over his base of support. I don't know, didn't look heavy.
I think they misloaded it, actually, because they're putting the change plates on the inside of the collars. Those are supposed to go on the outside of the collar.
So that's something that actually can be a decision of the jury and technical officials. You don't have to leave the change plates on the outside, and I have a feeling a little before when we were in the break, I saw the TC walk around and talk to the loaders, and I think he might have told them to put it on the inside. And the reason being is that this thing is loaded out to the end almost.
Yeah, and
they just don't want it on there.
It especially will be.
So it is an option. All right, so now here's Hayes.
This should be a
201 kilos. Yes, would be.
Fantastic lift. Great athlete. That's great.
Isn't in the lead, yeah, but it could drop him as far as fifth. So now 202. DJANGABAEV, third attempt. Missed 199.
That's right off of a miss.
So here's a gamble. This will set him back to 195 if he misses. Seventh place.
Man, we saw it on the first one. Gets low.
I mean, boy, that's gutsy.
There aren't a lot of supers who have that kind of flexibility in the bottom position.
Like I said, I think the last one I saw was Taranyenko.
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
With 202 kilos overhead. Georgian athlete, one of two. Irakli Termenidze is coming out for his third attempt, 203. This would essentially guarantee him a medal in the snatch.
Three athletes remaining, one of them yet to be seen, that being his countrymate, Lasha TALAKHADZE. MINASYAN on deck, waiting for a big increase to 208 kilos, but here is Termenidze. 203 kilos, third attempt.
Beautiful. Wow. Wow is right.
Every coaches are fired up.
Unbelievable.
That That is fast under the bar in slow motion. Oh,
yeah, but the
impressive.
explosiveness up, the straight line that the bar takes, the punch out, the return.
The Georgian.
This will move him into the lead and guarantee him a medal in the snatch.
Wow, that was a power snatch.
Almost.
Again, I saw him do the same thing in Rio from the side, and it was astonishing how high he catches. 205 kilos. I mean, that's impressive as a snatch. And Sean, you're right. It's nearly a power snatch.
And it barely clears his head.
Yeah. Look at that. If he grows his head, 7 is what we're seeing on the board.
MINASYAN can run this clock just a bit. He's moved to 212.
Wow.
So I think the strategy there for the Armenians is to go big on a declaration and drop down. He could probably go 208, maybe 210.
We'll see what Lasha does, and then he'll make his decision.
Last year in Anaheim, at the World Championships, Lasha opened with 210, ended up at 220.
But he had the world record in mind there.
The snatch world record,
Yeah,
we'll see what he's got in mind for this, but with 207, Lasha will move into the lead. He may still have the world record in mind.
Have you ever seen anyone move weight? And I ask this in all seriousness. Any human being move weight like that? I think back to every weightlifter and that 207.
Nobody does it with that I've seen with that much ease.
Yeah. I mean, Rezazadeh comes close. But I think Lasha is even more impressive.
Particularly in the snatch.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a machine, and he doesn't miss.
We've got just 2 athletes. This would just give him the world record. And further his lead.
Just give him the world record. The lift. Azaniste just marches out.
An easy 212.
Now, can anybody clean and jerk with him in this field?
Not really.
Possibly.
MINASYAN
But can anybody snatch with him? And the answer is no.
So, I mean, is this too...
So the clock hasn't started yet because the loaders are working on that right now. You see here on screen, 1 lift remaining, just that one little gray box next to TALAKHADZE. This is the final attempt of this session.
So they're making a change.
And you're waiting for the clock to start before they draw something in.
There was about a
217.
217. There was a nearly 30-year stretch where we did not see a human being snatch 215 or more. Happened in 87. 216, and then that was it.
Right, well, so...
Until Lasha.
So the significance of this number, it's the 2nd time that somebody will have surpassed the 216 mark, which stood for so long.
Well, the 3rd time if you count him, because he did 216, or Salimi did 16, then he did 220, and now he's doing 17.
So it's only the 2nd time. It's been, the 216 has been surpassed.
The 216 has been surpassed.
Yes.
I'll add one more that he quietly did at the Europeans in Split. He did 217.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking about an event that can happen. You could count the
them
number
on our
of times.
hand. Yeah, exactly.
In the lifespan of most people in this room.
But he's done it so regularly over the past few years that, like, we've grown to expect it.
Yeah.
From Lasha.
And yet it is truly an outlier among outliers. Let's see if he can do it one more time.
So here's Lasha TALAKHADZE. 3rd attempt, 217 kilos. World record at plus 109.
say?
Say nothing, it's fine. I'm right there with you.
It is truly a superhuman performance. It is something that is up there with the best athletic achievements of history. Look at how easy it is, too.
Remarkable.
There were a number of us, ourselves included, who didn't think we'd ever see a 215 or more snatch again. And Lasha, basically, we're getting spoiled every time we see him.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not 221, but I mean, come on. I mean, to see that again in that fashion.
He needs 237 to break the world standard. I mean, theoretically, he can go out there and power clean that and break the world record.
The new world record standard,
yes.
yeah.
Gor MINASYAN of Armenia, silver medal in this snatch, has his work cut out for him in the clean and jerk and the total. Lasha's teammate, Irakli Temenidze, bronze in the snatch on a perfect day.
There is going to be a lot of red on that medal stand.
And there, of course, Lasha TALAKHADZE.
You know, it's odd. I look up at the scoreboard and I see that 217, and you just assume it's a clean and jerk.
And it's a snatch.
And
it's a healthy.
And it is a 12-kilo lead, which means he'd have to be out clean and jerk by 13 kilos for somebody to take him out. Here are our standings in the men's plus 109. And you see that number, and you can shake your head at it. Because
I mean, I think that on a second attempt, 263 will give him the mythical 480 total, which, you know, is maybe that's on his third, but I think the 480 total is the thing that he has in his sights today. I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody, but that's what I think is going to happen.
So we could be treated to something special in just a bit, but right now we're going to get this started. 220 kilos, Walid Badani, Algeria, first attempt.
Sounds like he did 200 in the back, so big jump on that last warm-up.
Oh.
Was that something in between a split and a power jerk?
It was, I don't know what you call it. It's not, I mean, we remember him from last year. He had that weird jerk as well. It's kind of similar to what we're seeing today.
Clean looked okay. But no, it was never really over the base of support. And unfortunately, he's got to follow himself.
Not much room for a breather here. He could, in theory, go to 222. That would get him a break if Zezulin's number is real, but you don't know, so you should use the clock here, which he's doing, a 2-minute clock, because he is following himself.
Which is rough. As a super, largest competitors, largest group of competitors, you want all the rest you can get in
with
between
these
attempts.
huge weights, even.
Exactly.
A turnaround in 2 minutes is a tough thing to do, but
I mean,
it
we're
looks
nearing
like
500 pounds.
Walid Badani, who's being asked to do just that, is going to.
He's got just under a minute remaining. Started going the same way as the first one.
Yeah.
But he had it secured.
You know, he just doesn't secure the weight overhead. You know, we've seen lifters this week move their feet all around like a dance.
But it was locked out.
The bar's locked out. He just doesn't lock it out over his head. You can't dance around the platform.
So he's okay here. It's right there where it goes, and you know, come on, it's 400
Well, look,
pounds
I'm not
plus,
criticizing
right?
the
No,
guy.
I know, but you just see, like, there's no way he can stop it once that starts to happen.
But you can't let it happen. My point is, you can't let it happen in the first place.
Yeah, now to start this off, Walid Badani is in a bad spot. He must make this now on his third attempt, or he will not post a total.
That's too bad.
And if we haven't mentioned it this session, we have in the past. The 2018 World Championships opens the qualification window for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. These athletes in every weight class who want to go to the Olympic Games must compete 6 times over the next 18 months in IWF events. They must compete at least once in 3 separate 6-month blocks. And in this new system, what we have done is moved away from team point scoring, and we have now put the onus on the athlete directly. They are to acquire, or they will acquire through their totals in these 6 events that they compete in, what we call Roby points. And the top Roby points will be ranked in order to bring people or to qualify individuals to the Olympics. So if an athlete does not post a total in a World Championships or in an IWF qualifying event, which this is, they will accumulate no Roby points. So this is a huge deal for Walid Badani to make this lift.
Come on, let's go, Walid. Let's do this.
Oh,
man.
Doesn't make it through the clean.
I'm sorry to see that.
JP, like you said, that's
hurts.
a big deal.
Doesn't end the Tokyo dream, but it
Well,
makes
an
the path
athlete,
there
right.
pretty difficult.
I think if you're the best in your continental federation,
But you still, yeah, so he's got the meat on the board, but he needs points. He has 0 Roby points right now. So he will have to get into some other meets.
He's not going to be top 8 in the world, and I don't know where Algeria is, the African Games. So he certainly could be the best in
continental and
in that continent.
All right, so now here's Zizulin of Belarus, first attempt junior lifter, 222 kilos. This will be a world record in total and clean and jerk.
Nice clean.
junior world record.
Junior world record, thank you. And it is.
Beautiful lift. He is very well coached.
It's kind of been the theme of this competition. Lots of big weights, and the old world standards, rather, the world standards that have just been established are falling all around us.
And the only reason all the records haven't been taken yet is because Lasha hasn't taken a lift.
Well, I don't, as far as the clean and jerk goes, it will get to Lasha, I think, eventually, but look for Gor MINASYAN.
Right,
He can do
right.
it. There are a couple others in here, certainly
Absolutely.
capable of 251, Terminates. So they're going down, which I think is your point.
Yes. My question is, why are they set so low?
I don't know. Yeah, I know. Talking about 263 and a half, right? And the body weight limit went up. Not that that matters with supers.
No, it doesn't matter with supers. One of the benefits of being at a meet is super is never worried about cutting weight.
No upper limit.
So you can always see them with multiple plates of food.
That was a talk that's a conversation that I wondered about. Should there be an upper limit? And ultimately the IWF decided no upper limit on the high end and no lower limit on the lowest body weight
I just
class.
don't know why they changed the super records.
Yep. All right, so now here, Ali Davoudi, our other junior, 227. If successful, say it again, junior world record in both total and the clean and jerk.
He already owns the snatch junior record from earlier today.
There we go.
And now he owns all 3 for the moment.
With a 424 kilo total. He just completely destroyed the 415 that was just sitting there.
Yeah.
Wasn't as crisp as I've seen him lift. Not to
Be critical of it.
Be
Yeah,
critical. It's just I've seen his bar move faster.
Okay, but he's on the board here. First one done. We'll see where he takes his. All right, so now Zizulin is back. Second attempt.
Looking to retake the junior world record in the clean and jerk.
But it would not do it in total. This would give him, if successful, a 421 kilo total. For now, would move him into second.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
A little flicker on that right arm.
And we've seen them be pretty strict on that flicker all competition.
One red light it drew, so it's a good lift. Let's see if that holds up. Remember, there are 3 referees, and their judgments are basically reviewed by a jury of 5 people. If that jury unanimously agrees the judges got it wrong, they can overturn the lift, and it's the right arm.
Well,
wobbles just, that he is not going to be taking any clean and jerks. We'll get you information as soon as we know it.
And that helps Brazil's Fernando Reis very much.
DJANGABAEV as well. All right, so now here's Zizulin. Third attempt, 232 kilos.
On that dip than we saw in the previous 2. A little bit of a struggle in that clean. You saw him rotate a little bit, but
still very nice showing.
Great
4 for 6.
And is right now currently a record holder.
In the clean and jerk at 228 from his second attempt.
Don't know if that's gonna hold.
Yes, Devuti still has 2 more attempts, but like you said, Sean, a very nice showing in his first World Championships. And that's a lifter, I think, to keep an eye on over the next few years.
And we see his name on the board right there, so at least for a little while, he's a world record holder.
I hope somebody's taking a picture of it for him. And now 235 will be loaded for the first attempt of Fernando Reis of Brazil.
What did he open with at Pan Am's?
You know, I don't have it.
What's his best clean and jerk?
40.
That's what I thought.
I think he just did 230 in the warm-up room.
That's a small jump to the opener, but
5?
Yeah.
For a super.
Yeah. Good jerk.
Yeah. Nice opening attempt.
Solid opener by Fernando. Nice job by Fernando there.
Briefly want to mention that it sounds like Terminitse pulled a quad, which is what led to him withdrawing from the competition.
That's too bad.
So we do wish him the best, and we do hope to see him back in competition soon. And 235 kilos is going to stay on the bar now for Mart SEIM, Estonia, first attempt.
And we'll see what his back situation's like right in a few seconds. Problem there.
Good lift for SEIM.
Yeah, 235 goes up with relative ease.
He's actually walking off the stage better than he did in the snatches, so
maybe that he's been moving around, they got him loosened up. what he does so well is how he turns his arms around on the clean and just shoots right up out of the bottom position, almost effortless. So now Ruslan ALBEGOV, 235 kilos, first attempt.
He's got a beautiful clean jerk.
Nice and patient in that jerk recovery, and it pays off.
The whip he creates on the bar, the force that he creates, both when he receives it in the clean and when he dips and drives through the jerk. Watch the bar. It's just, it's like that flick. And that movement is unbelievable.
Feet land, same time as the arms locked, bars right over the hips. Perfect.
All right, so now here is Tochiev. First attempt, 235.
Series that he wanted in the snatch competition, 187 from his second, but that is a solid start at 235 for Tochiev.
Excellent lift. You're kind of what we expected to see out of him in the clean and jerk.
I think with an opener like that, see him into the 240s.
Absolutely.
Which with Chimanidze out.
Game on.
Could be good enough for a podium finish. We'll have to see.
438 total.
Yes.
And put him currently in the lead.
2 kilos ahead of Hayes, sitting on 436 right now.
Again with that slow into the hip. Nice lift. It's almost like he's winding a spring, and it's getting to the hip, and then the spring just springs, and he just gets under the bar. It's really
there.
Yeah.
It does. It really looks like it almost grinds to a stop.
Yeah. And then it just.
He only had a 3 kilo lead over him, and you know these guys eat 3 kilo meals.
Yeah.
So.
I would say snacks, Junior. Meals are much more than that. That's unexpected.
Very strong.
Unexpectedly, I thought he would stand right up.
He looked like a world beater when he was out for the snatch race, sharp, and he was moving fast. That looked like he was a little tired, right?
Yeah.
But it's 240. It's an opener. Let's see if he
turns it on. And it crashed on him, too.
And watch the back foot. That's something that he always does.
Yeah, not what you call a perfect that belt.
This would give him a 427, and for now, move him up to 6th.
And be prepared. If he makes this, the roof might blow off. Better than his first.
That's a personal best.
That's fantastic.
And he's got one more attempt. He's rightfully excited about that. And Sean, I think you're right. That's better than his opener.
Much better. Great lift.
And he said, that's not a big enough jump. That's got to be one of the largest
15 kilo jump.
You know, it's uncommon, but I've seen it before, but it certainly is not common.
It's the biggest we've seen today.
Oh, yes, for sure.
All competition, we can even say.
Oh, yeah.
Quite easily.
Forget the junior world records. He wants in on the medals. This will give him a 4:39, and for the moment, move him into second.
See the shake there.
Even with that, I mean, he looked like he's good for it.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I mean, if at 242, it will be loaded for Rustam DJANGABAEV. This will give him a 446 kilo total and move him one ahead of Gor MINASYAN.
Started to look heavy on his chest.
Yes.
He was looked like he was struggling to get some air, get his breath back. Clean seemed to crash in him just a little bit too.
And 244 is a weird number now because that puts him on a 2-minute clock. What do you do? He doesn't need 245 to move into the. So 245. So 245 is going to be Lasha TALAKHADZE's opening attempt here, and if successful, this will give him a 462. And even if he makes nothing else.
Right. I mean, and he shatters the current world standard total of 453.
That, and you got to think that this will lock up a gold medal in total.
And then I think he's going to go with my plan.
So a casual 245.
As casual as 245.
I think the number today is 263. 263.
We shall hope.
The 480 total that is the mythical total of weightlifting.
So now 245. I mean, just take a look at this.
Nothing moves.
That's right.
Nothing moves. It's like a statue.
245, Fernando Hayes.
This is his best.
240 that he just made, matched it. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is a 10-kilo jump.
Yes.
This would be his best.
Best. Who's up?
Turned him down a bit early on that.
Yeah, well,
he was really there to fight.
I don't know that his arms were fully extended.
But they weren't moving.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't have given him the down signal.
So what happened there, we heard the buzz while Fernando, who, by the way, really put into this 245. But it was a little in front, and he's fighting it, and you see the arms moving around a little bit.
But they're not straightening or bending. That's a bad call. Now, whether or not he would have recovered is neither here nor there. You shouldn't have given him the buzzer for that.
Once two refs chime in, though, the buzzer is automatic.
I don't care. It's wrong.
So now 245, Gor MINASYAN 5-kilo jump. This will move him up to 450 and go a long way in helping his efforts to stay in at least silver position.
Just an awkward clean, but
yeah,
boy,
you know,
boy.
It works.
Again, technically, you wouldn't point to that and say do that, but man, does he make it work.
If it's going to happen, you're not going to stop it either. And I think 241 is the most he's done prior to now. Now 245 for Hoxha. Toychiev of Turkmenistan, 2 for 2 thus far. And if successful here, he will have a 432-kilo total.
He's got the support of the people behind him. Let's go. Come on. A little much.
Gave it a great effort.
I'm going to get you.
That's right, exactly.
That's what he's doing. I'm going to get you. So that means Toychiev will be credited with 240. From his second attempt, a 427-kilo total on the day, and now Davoudi is back with 245 now on his third attempt.
I think if he comes up, if he stands right up with this and doesn't get the birds spinning around his head, he's going to have a very good shot at making this jerk.
This would give him a 442. So too much today for Davoudi, but remember this name.
And he still has one more year as a junior. He is just 19 by IWF standards, so he's got a full another year to keep at those junior records.
And from a nation with a history of producing great supers.
Yeah.
He can be fun to see him develop, or it can be fun to see him develop, but he will finish with a 424-kilo total, a new junior world record, along with a 197 junior world record snatch. And now here is Rustam Jangabaev, 245, missed 44 on his second attempt, moved up 1 kilo.
The jerk.
Yeah, Jangabaev is the real deal, and he now puts Heish in a tough spot.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Crashes on him again, but strong.
He doesn't care.
No.
That was great.
So, yeah, Fernando is in a tough spot.
He's gone up a kilo to 246, and it looks like he's going to take it, but at 246.
There's Lasha, all but secured.
At 246, Fernando
ties Jangabaev.
Yeah, it'll give him 447, and it'll keep him right in the fourth place position that he's in, but still, he will leave here with a big personal best.
Yes, and it might hold on for a clean and jerk medal.
Mart, SEIM, and Zizulin have both taken outrageous jumps.
that's too bad for Heis. He had a perfect day in the snatch. Did wonderfully. Outclassed in the clean and jerk despite doing really big weights and taking some impressive attempts.
It's too bad. Just not there today.
Right there, but not there. Unfortunately for Fernando, so he will be credited with 235 kilos from his first attempt and finish with a 436 kilo total.
And safe to say that you are looking at the strongest athlete in the Western Hemisphere. Biggest snatch done by an athlete in the Western Hemisphere.
All right, so now 250. Gor MINASYAN, Armenia. We still have a bunch to go, and we're already at 250. This would give him a 455. No.
Not to be.
I mean, he beats himself up on those clean and jerks.
Yeah.
At some point, it's got to tap out. And he found his tapping point.
Yeah.
So will 450 hold up? There are a couple of big jumps remaining on this board to try to get ahead. I think we can go ahead and say it's over. Lasha's going to win this thing.
Yeah.
He's sitting on 462 with 2 attempts left. But Gor MINASYAN
Matters.
I know, right?
443 would put
There's
him
not
in.
a whole lot to figure out here.
No, this lift would put him into 4th place.
443,
yes.
right? Yeah, that'll move him into 4th.
With 1 attempt left.
Right, so he's got to make this plus a bit more.
But it would guarantee him
A medal in the clean and jerk.
Yeah, I think that's what he's got his sights set on.
Well, last year in Anaheim at the World Championships, I believe he was silver in the clean and jerk.
I think he paused jerk 245 recently from the rack. So there's no shortage of strength and power in this man.
Oh, that's shocking.
Pointing to the head.
So his back's okay.
Right. Got to maybe rub some ice on his head.
It's going to be a lot of ice if that's the case.
Knowing him, I wouldn't be shocked if he took a crack.
Oh, he's going to be on the clock.
Yeah, he's got a 2-minute clock unless he wants to move up a little.
A guy like him with his kind of strength, and that's okay on a 2-minute turn. And in fact, he probably wants to get back out here quickly because he's just annoyed about what he just did, and he wants to make good on it.
You can't break focus for an instant in either of these lifts. They're so mentally demanding.
Shaking. Yeah, a little out of sorts.
Yeah.
So that means SEIM will be credited with 235 from his opening attempt, 427 kilos.
He originally had put 255. Was I
Lasha.
crazy or no?
ALBEGOV?
Yeah, no, Lasha.
He might have moved that down. So what 252 would do is give him a 469.
Gets that second attempt at 252.
What does he do next?
Gives him the world record in the clean and jerk.
It's got to be
and the
260.
total.
Sean, you've said it before, there's something special about being the person who lifted the most weight, or who lifts the most weight at a World Championships.
And who lifts last.
And who lifts last.
Closing out the competition.
And we are down to our final attempt. And not only the men's plus 109, but of the 2018 World Championships, and it belongs to this man, Lasha TALAKHADZE. The question is, will he take it? And then what weight will it be?
So he now owns all 3 records, snatch, clean and jerk in total.
He did this 257 last year in Anaheim.
Looks like they're staying with this.
To cap off a 477 kilo, which at the time was world record, what, best ever. He's gonna stick with 257. So this will close out this year's World Championships. A world record 257 kilo attempt for Lasha TALAKHADZE of Georgia. He will have a 474 kilo total. If successful, that too will be a new world record.
We've seen a lot of supers, very strong supers in this session, but I would argue none of them moves weight the way Lasha does.
Yeah, it's just remarkable. Just remarkable.
So now, with that being done,
we're done.
That's true. But Lasha marches one step closer to legendary status. This is now his 3rd straight World Championships. He's won an Olympics in between them.
You know, I think it's safe to say that Lasha has perhaps attained legend status. If he continues, it will only...
Of all time. So, I mean, by the metrics, he's the best. I just think the guy with the biggest clean and jerk, it's that there's something special about that too.
All right, so there was Gor MINASYAN, our silver medalist in the clean and jerk, and now Rustam DJANGABAEV, our bronze medalist in the clean and jerk, pulled off 245 after missing with 244. And as far as that clean and jerk goes, that special clean and jerk that we talk about, he unofficially broke the IWF world record of 200.
Rezazadeh of Iran is one, Chemerkin of Russia in the 90s.
Pisarenko.
And then maybe Pisarenko in the 80s. Maybe 5 athletes who were able to lift in excess of 500, 560 pounds or so.
But you forget, you know, like Karlovic had the record total. He was the #1 super heavyweight until Lasha broke his record.
Yeah. It's from the men's plus 109A session. Rather, a replay of the heaviest lift of these championships.
257 kilos.
And we say heaviest, and it still looks, again, if that were an opening attempt, I would say that looks fair.
Right?
That's astonishing.
So here are our results in the clean and jerk in the men's plus 109 kilo category.
I'm sad it's over.
Yeah. Of course, that world record there from Lasha.
Total results for the men's super heavyweight category. Lasha TALAKHADZE, of course, running away with it. World records across the board. MINASYAN giving it a good go in silver, and DJANGABAEV in